Hey guys, welcome to the Sunny Side of Finance podcast. There's a million podcasts out there, probably a zillion podcasts out there, but this is me making an attempt to talk about some real life stuff that's happening and tie it into maybe some gold nuggets that you could take away from a short video. Today, we're going to talk about a subject that's on a lot of people's minds this summer. I'm getting that question from multiple calls daily these days, it seems. Sunny, is it a good time to buy? Rates are in the mid sixes to mid sevens right now, and it's causing affordability to decrease. I mean, couple this with the fact that if you're in California, insurance is spiked, like severely spiked. And on top of that, we haven't seen a real growth in the labor market as far as income increases across all sectors in quite some time since COVID. So, what do? You got in layman's terms, you got, your job is there, but you're not increasing in pay at the rate that inflation is rising. You have home values that have, spiked or are continuing to slowly increase in certain pockets, majority of the pockets. And then on top of that, you have interest rates that are just posing a problem. This should equate to, man, it's not a good time to buy. But we're going to start with this. We're going to start with when would be a good time to buy. Many of you that are watching this might be stuck in a circumstance. Maybe you're going through a split up or a divorce with a significant other. Maybe you're going through a tougher situation, maybe a loss of a spouse or a significant other, and you're going from a dual income to a single income, and you might have to sell your home to go purchase something more affordable. Maybe you're relocating and you just have identified an area, you found that it's close to where you're going to be working, and you just don't want to rent because rent is pretty crazy as well right now. I mean, to put things in perspective, a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath built in the late 80s, 90s, that's under 2,500 square feet in Rockland, California, as we shoot this video, is about $3,200 to $3,500 a month in rent. So that's not going to be that cheaper of an option either. So I'm going to answer you this with a hypothetical, okay? I'm buying homes right now. As an investor, I am buying homes right now. So what am I buying? I'm buying pretty much cosmetic fixers. So I'm looking for properties that might need a roof or actually that's not a cosmetic fixer, might need upgrades like flooring, carpet, anything that is attached, like cabinets, baseboards, crown molding. Maybe I could throw some wainscoting in there and make the decor brought up to today's standards, right? I'll even go as far as looking for non-cosmetic fixers, things that need a roof, an HVAC, maybe need new plumbing or new electrical. I have a little bit more experience, but the reason that I'm buying these homes is because of one principle. You have to win at the buy. You have to win at acquisition right now. So what does winning look like? Here's what it looks like. I want you to draw a circle. If you're using a public MLS, if you're using a free online website to be able to track properties like realtor.com or redfin.com or zillow.com, I want you to pinpoint the home that you're looking at, and I want you to draw a circle. Zoom in, and I want you to draw a circle with what you would think is about 1.5 miles to 2 miles out from that home. And then I want you to change the filter to sold. And I want you to look at what has sold in the last 3 and 6 months. And what does that look like as far as price point for your home? Now, many of you might be going, what'd you say? Let me say it again. Find a home you like, or a home that could be a candidate of a home that you like, and look for the sales that the homes that have sold that are similar to that home. So if you're looking at 3-bedroom, 2 baths that are 1,500 square feet, look for other 3-bedroom, 2 bath, 1,500 square feet homes that have sold in the last 3 to 6 months. If you're tuning in now and you're like, well, that doesn't really make sense. 6 months ago was December. It was a totally different market. Not necessarily, right? We did see interest rates reduce in the first part of this year. They were actually cheaper. So we had more activity back then than it seems like we have now. So just use your comparable sales, because that's what an appraiser is going to be using anyways when they appraise your property. So let's assume in this hypothetical that that home that you're looking at, that 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home, is listed for sale at $425,000. Let's say that all of the sales that you see are 425, 450, 475. Well, this will give you an indication of a median price point for that home, and you'll know if you're paying market value or if you're paying over market value, over previously sold value. If you're paying more for that property, multiple offers are a key sign that you might be paying more. Bidding up against the list price might be an indication that you're paying more. Paying heavier price where you're now the new highest comparable sale for that area is a clear indication that you're paying more, the most so far. Then I would not buy that home. I would steer clear from it unless there's a valid reason as to why you need to be there. Oh, it's right next door to my mom and dad's house, or it's right next door to family, or it's, it's in a neighborhood where all of our friends are and we could walk to school. Like if you have your own decision and your mind made up, I can't talk you out of it. But if you're watching this and you want to know how to get just a deal, I'm going to teach you how to do that. We have to win at the buy. We have to win at acquisition price. So I tend to look at homes that are cosmetic fixers because A, it's going to turn off a lot of the crowd. A lot of people that are shopping right now for homes, they want turnkey. They don't want to come in and have to put, more money into the home or more work into the home. They may not have the experience to put the work into the home. They might not know where to shop for carpet. And they might try and then they'll go and get Mohawk carpet priced out and they're like, oh my God, this is $4.99 a foot. Or they'll get, laminate flooring checked out and they're like, wow, this is $5.99 a foot to put hardwood in. And they'll start doing the math and they'll freak out, right? Because they don't know any better. Whereas an experienced investor might come in and say, hey, I'm going to go over to German flooring. I'm going to get this floor for $1.19 a floor. I have somebody that's going to install it, or I can install it for $1.20 a foot. And, I know that's a surface level, so I will likely not require a permit. I'll go double check that with the city. We'll look at it from a different set of lenses. So I want you to go look at cosmetic fixers. Again, cosmetic fixer, carpet, paint, baseboards, maybe cabinets. I want you to go do that. Okay. When you look at those, again, there's going to be probably less competition from home buyers, but there might be a little bit more competition for investors. But investors are only going to compete if the price is low enough for them to acquire it, make the repairs, and flip it for a profit. So you're probably going to be safe from investors. So let's use the same scenario. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet shows up for $399. Okay. So now we already know it's 25 grand difference from that one that's already kind of turnkey. So now what we're going to do is we're going to ask our real estate agent to try to, get some information from the seller's agent, see if there's any material fact or any issues with the property that we're going to have to face. And we're going to do our best to tie it up. We're going to be transparent with the listing agent because they're going to see our contingencies. We're going to say, hey, we're getting a home inspection. We're going to have a roof, a pest, a home, a pool, whatever, right? And then when those reports come in, we are going to give them a copy. If there's anything that shows up on there that just raises an eyebrow or is maybe too much work for you, before we say, we're done with this house, we cancel, we're going to send it to the listing agent because now they're going to show the seller and the seller is going to become aware of it. Now, how that kind of is a disservice to the seller is, and at the same time a service, is the seller may not have been aware of it. You've spent, $1,000 on inspections. They've now become aware that there's dry rot or there's issues with the home. And now you can go to them and say, look, we still like your home, but this is what this is going to cost us. Can we get a little bit, can we get a reasonable price or meet in the middle or further negotiate the price? For any professional watching this going, oh, I hate this strategy. You're the reason why. That sucks. That's a terrible strategy. What are you talking about? This is what I just depicted is a normal escrow. When you write up an offer, you're writing 3 styles of contingencies. You're writing an appraisal contingency to see if the value is there for the collateral. You're writing a loan contingency to make sure that the buyer's loan is secure before, just so they don't lose a deposit. And you're also writing an inspection or investigation contingency to make sure that this property is not going to fall down when they buy it, that we've had some professionals look at it, vendor partners look at it to make sure it's good. Now, if you're sitting back and you got all these reports back and you're a good buyer's agent and you're talking to your client about it and you're counseling them on what to do, this is where the rubber meets the road. I've seen a lot of buyer's agents kind of, shit the bed, pardon my French here, is because they're nervous because it's a confrontation, and it doesn't have to be with the seller side. It doesn't have to be treated as a confrontation. It could just be treated as business. Send an email, attach the reports, make a read receipt, talk to your customer before sending this email. Say, hey, Mr. Buyer, what do you think we should do? What do you want to do? Where would you feel comfortable? Allow them to get more time to get bids from local contractors, maybe even a local handyman or family that they know, okay? But now we're at $399. Let's say the reports say that we need 30 grand to work, which the reports always have this number on it that says, not always, but generally, it'll have an inflated number on it that that you can go to another contractor and say, can you beat this price? And they can usually do it for a lot cheaper. Usually, not all the time, but usually. So let's say we have $30,000 off, in work here, and we go in there and we're able to get a contractor to say, hey, we can do it for 15. Okay. If it's within your budget, now that $399 is dropped down to $369, you're still spending $15K to make the house nice and maybe another $10K, but you're walking into a more turnkey, more solid product of a home than you would be for cheaper than you would be with that $425 price point. So this is just one strategy. If you learn anything from this, it's win at the buy, win at the acquisition. There's going to be another video I'm going to put out that's going to be really driving home what I do when I go to buy an investment property. And I think that if those tactics are applied to a home buyer looking to purchase their first home or even a second home or an investment property, those principles can help you as well in getting, a better victory at time of acquisition. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button.